We're excited to launch the Hoopcast, a brand new podcast from Hoop Recruitment that brings bold, honest conversations to the forefront. Not your typical staff room chat, that's for sure. We'll tackle the topics many organisations avoid because we believe silence only deepens the issues in our society. At Hoop, we're committed to being part of the change by creating a safe space for people to speak up and be that voice of change. Hello and welcome to the Hoopcast, brought to you by Hoop Recruitment. I'm Rhian Smith, the Director of Nursing and Healthcare here at Hoop, and I am delighted to kick off our very first episode with a conversation that could not be more important or more timely. Across the UK, overseas workers play an absolutely crucial role in our health and social care system, bringing invaluable skills, dedication and compassion to the communities they serve. But with new government rules affecting how people can live and work, many professionals are now facing real uncertainty and challenges in finding stability. Today, I am delighted to be joined by KK, an overseas care worker now living and working here in the UK and working towards her NMC registration as well to be a qualified nurse. I just want to get that in there to discuss her experiences, the impact of these recent changes and why it's so important that we recognise and support the incredible contribution of international professionals to not only our economy but also our society. But honestly, KK, thank you so much for joining me today because I really appreciate your time. And I know working in the health and social care sector is time consuming and somewhat of a drain on time. So to give me some of that, honestly, I'm really grateful. And just before we introduce yourself, it's, just to give a bit of context as to how we met. We actually met when fate kind of aligned and we were both on a panel together judging for the Great British Care Awards, weren't we? Yeah. Which was a brilliant day. But you and I very much clicked and shared some, I think, core values and outlook. So looking to explore that a lot more today. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, KK, you can, your name, where you're from, what you do for work as well, and give us just a bit of a background about you, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Khadija Tukoruma, but I'm popularly known as KK by everyone. I am a living carer at the moment, but also I am a nurse from Sierra Leone, that is in West Africa. And I came in to do care back in 2022. So I've been here now for like 3 years, and I've worked probably around different care sectors. So now I'm a living carer. I used to be a domiciliary carer. I used to work in a care home part-time. I used to do support working. So I was just literally everywhere, just trying to find my footing because I came here alone, just with work. And I've just been trying my best to contribute to the country, and that's what I've been doing. And now I am doing my nursing test from the NMC. So I've passed my mental health nursing.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
I know. And I've done the IELTS English. So I passed that also. So I've just one more remaining, the Oscar exams, for me to be a fully registered nurse in the UK.
That honestly is brilliant news. That is such, incredible, KK, honestly. And the fact that you've tried your hand at so many different areas within health and social care is just, is only going to make it better. Your professional experience now as a nurse in the UK, hopefully, much more positive because you've put put yourself out there and worked in different settings. Yes. I mean, you've touched on there that, so you were born in Sierra Leone?
Sierra Leone, yes.
Yeah. So do you mind me asking, and again, I know this conversation, and we've kind of already had a bit of a pre-chat, is I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, I suppose, because I'm trying to learn more about, I have concerns about how people from overseas are being received into the country and also their expectations being managed and supported. I feel there's a gap here, and especially with current political conversation going on, I don't feel the support is there for a lot of people. So for me, the purpose of this is to learn. I want to learn and understand more about your experience. And I appreciate that, there's so many different countries that people come in, to the
Yeah.
UK from. So this is your experience from yours, but I know you have spoken then with friends who
Yeah.
are, I don't know if they're from Sierra Leone like yourself or from different parts of the
Different
world.
parts also.
Fantastic. Okay, so it gives
Yeah.
us more, and I want to learn, but also I want to raise awareness about the fact that you have come into this country with so many skills and the willingness to work hard, the willingness then to commit then to becoming a nurse as well and
Yeah.
look after our communities,
Yes.
so which are diverse and should be diverse. So for
Yeah.
me, there's a couple of things here, but if I say the wrong term as well, please correct me because as I
Okay.
say, this is a learning journey for me.
Okay.
And I'm mindful. And again, I'll say something that possibly not many people do say, but I'm white and from the UK. I'm already
Yeah.
privileged, and that shouldn't be the case, but that is the case. So I need to learn in order then to, I suppose, extend that support and learn what I can do
Yeah.
to help and to almost, I'd love to say that in the future we would have eradicated all of the
Yeah.
stigma and all of the negative prejudice that's out there. But
Yeah.
if I can't change that myself, but if I can
Mhm.
do something to support that, then that is my goal, for the
Yes.
future generations. And it's how then I educate my children. So,
Yes.
if I say something, I suppose kind of put a caveat out there now, if I say something wrong, please, no, it's not coming from a bad place. And it's just I'm
Okay.
learning. So
Okay.
if we then, so just to go back then to
Yeah.
Sierra Leone, one of my questions is how is the UK advertised in Sierra Leone?
Okay. So, firstly, Sierra Leone was colonized by the UK. So that's
Okay.
how we have like a tie with the UK. And ever since growing up in Sierra Leone, because that's where I've lived all my life, and now the UK is like a second home to me. So I haven't lived elsewhere. And we see England like, when back home we used to say our like countries are like our motherland.
Okay.
That's how we call our countries. If you talk to Caribbeans and mostly Africans, they would call their originator countries motherlands. And in Sierra Leone, we used to say the UK is our fatherland because they
Um,
colonized us, and our educational
right.
system is just like the UK. They would teach us about all most of the history from UK, teach us about William Shakespeare, Jane Eyre, and all these things that
Wow,
are
okay.
not from us. And there is so many times, if anybody could search about Sierra Leone, there are so many places that are here. We have a place called Waterloo, we have a place called Wilberforce, we have a place called Aberdeen, we have a place called Goderich,
Oh
we
my
have
goodness, I didn't know any of
yes.
this, honestly. Okay, wow.
So
I did
that is
not know
Sierra Leone
that.
for you. Like we never knew. We have Gloucester, we have Leicester, we have so many areas that are named after the UK, and all this made us feel like we have this connection to the UK. We don't know 100%, but we feel like yeah, if we come here, maybe we would understand. And our main language is English, apart from the local one, and the local language is called broken English. It's called Creole. So it's a broken English that we talk to each other.
Wow.
So it's not something foreign. There are some words in Creole which is the same in English. Yeah. So
Incredible.
that's how Sierra Leone is connected to the UK, as much as people will make us feel like we're not supposed to be. And the Queen, the late Queen, she went to Sierra Leone for our independence. Also, she toured Sierra Leone. She was there, and
Wow.
she has pictures with our first prime minister. But now, because of democracy, we have presidents, right? So this is how connected we are to the UK. This is how we feel. So we always refer to the UK as our fatherland. And back then it's like we're being taught as UK is this wonderful place, just like I said, our fatherland. So it's
Yeah.
like our dad's home,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
so we were taught that it's this people who came to our country like to help us,
Hmm.
to bring civilization, and what people would say would assume that they brought into the country. So we always have this picture of the UK being like a very welcoming country, like they're very helpful, like the want to help people as much as they can, like they're loving, they're caring. And we would always see them like, oh, when you get to the UK, it's like you're posh, like Harry Potter vibes, like tea and biscuits. And so it's all about something very loving, like caring and
Yeah.
very joyous. That's how we feel. So us feeling that when we come into the UK, like we'll be welcomed, will be
Yeah.
taken as if like these people are like our like siblings from far
Yeah,
away,
of course.
right?
Do you mind me asking then? So
Yeah.
why did you want to leave Sierra? Was that always your plan to come to the UK, or why did you want to leave as well?
Yeah, so there was a time when most of the, I would say like the developed countries, because that's how we were taught to call them,
Hmm.
when they were looking for like staffs, looking for workers to come in, right? We It's something like we heard about, we knew about. And I am a nurse in Sierra Leone. I finished school back in 2019 and I was working. And when the opportunity presented itself, it wasn't just the UK. It was Canada, it was America, it was Australia, it was the
Okay.
UK. Like we saw these advertisements of jobs being offered to overseas workers, right? And for me, initially, it just clicked that I'd rather choose the UK than choose any other country, because I felt like the UK would be a
Connect
better
the
option
connection
for
there,
me.
yeah.
Yes. So that's how
Excuse me.
that's how I felt. So I was like, yeah. So instead of me going elsewhere, I'd rather come to the UK. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like this is where I want to be. I want to be with the Harry Potter people. Like, yeah. Because Harry Potter was a big thing growing up. And I was like,
Oh.
yeah. So this is where I want to come. So I chose that because of how I felt that I would be welcomed. Like I would have similar, like there are similarities, and it will
Yeah.
be easy for me to like get a foot in. It will be easy for me to connect.
And we'll talk about the contrast of maybe how it's actually been and the reality of that.
Yeah.
What do you regret choosing the UK? Be
If
as candid
I
as you want
be
here.
honest, yes, I do.
Which is
Honestly,
so, do you know
because
what? That makes me so sad because I think,
yeah,
but and I know I can't relate and understand, but I can see
yeah,
exactly why you think that. And I just think, this government and we have let you
the
down.
people, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And that makes me
I really
sad.
could understand when the government would say things, because politicians everywhere like are people I don't trust. I really don't trust politicians, whether they're Africans, whether they're from America or wherever, because they lie to make themselves feel better and
Mhm.
just to pocket money. So, but I really didn't expect the citizens to be very hateful and hurtful.
Mm,
That's so why I say that I regret choosing the UK. Because listen, I know people would say that, oh well, then go elsewhere then, but America, you could see the racism, right? They don't like you, they don't like you, you could see it. But the
yeah.
UK, they portray themselves like this loving and caring people who are so welcoming, with
Mm,
diversity and multiculturalism and all these things. They portray themselves like, no, we are better, we are not racist, we're this. But then you actually are, because we are here, we don't work for black people, no, we look after you guys, we try our
yeah.
best. And then every day is like, now I'm getting so anxious because I don't know who is who.
Hmm.
I get very uncomfortable. Like at first, I would see people, I would just smile, see their babies, and give a smile. But then I'm just so scared. I'm like, I don't want to smile, and then they think I want to do something to them, or
Yeah.
I
Which
don't
is,
want to say
oh,
hello. Yeah, I don't want to say hello to somebody,
KK.
and then they spit at my face or something. So I'm just like, no, I'm so cautious with whatever I do. Like I'm comfortable with just the people that I know.
And it's not, I'm not going to kind of be condescending saying on behalf of the UK, I'm sorry if it, no, I am really bloody sorry you're being treated like that, I feel that way, because to me, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, hold on. We have a person here who has worked in healthcare for the last 3 years in this country, who is a qualified nurse, has a plethora of skills to bring to this country. You're obviously committed because you've now just done your OSCE exams, you're registering with the NMC. We need good nurses. We
Yeah.
need nurses with a good work ethic. We need them with kindness and warmth. And you, to me, so far with every interaction
Yeah.
we've had, have been exactly that. So
Yeah.
to lose then you to go to Canada or somewhere else where
Yeah.
you feel that, even America, where you're going to get open
Yeah.
racism, but it's almost as if, and I feel that it's almost that we are not being as honest as we could as a society. I say we,
yeah,
as in the UK. It's
yeah.
almost that we need to just either say, look, if you're coming here, this is what you're going to be met with,
Thank you. That is all we
you
ask for.
know? Yeah, just that
That is
honesty about it. And,
all we
and
ask for.
I hate that I even have to say that, but
Yeah,
I've got to be real about it. I can't just
yeah.
say, oh no, come here, it's all, roses and daisies and everyone's lovely. They're
Yeah,
not, I don't walk in the streets a certain time of night on my own, because that's the reality of the UK, isn't it? And the thing is, social media plays a huge part in this.
very.
It's
Oh
so
my
big.
God.
And we've almost, as we said earlier, we've normalized some of the things that for example, I don't, my sons don't have phones,
Mhm.
and my son is the only person in his class not to have a mobile phone. He's 10 years old, which to me is desperately sad, but I
Yeah,
refuse to give him access to things because I don't want his brain conditioned to
yeah,
normalize these things.
yeah,
Racism is one of them, and one of them, violence is another,
yeah,
inciting hatred. I don't want any of that in their brains.
yeah,
So for me, it's almost then looking at this conversation. To me, again, I've already learned so much from you, and you're
yeah.
giving me a different perspective on things, because this is the reason I've asked you to have this conversation with me, is to raise awareness. But I feel even so far, I'm literally question 2 in, and I'm already like, oh my goodness, I haven't, you're like, my thoughts are firing on all cylinders because
Yeah.
you're giving me that insight. In the past 12 months, because
Yes.
obviously the political landscape is shifting,
Yeah.
and there seems to be a lot more topics that have, as I say, I don't watch the news that much, but I'm fully
Yeah.
aware of the flags issue.
Yeah.
I hate that. I just think,
Yeah.
my cousin, she does a podcast, and she's a psychologist, and she actually lives in the UAE, and I'm very, very proud of her, and she's incredible. But she was talking about St. George, and the fact that actually St. George, he wasn't, his ancestors
Yeah.
weren't from England. So it's
Yeah.
almost, and I was learning about it. Well, we're just a bunch of hypocrites then, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because the irony that we're putting the flags out, a flag of a
Yeah.
gentleman who, it just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, but again, learning, I'm like a sponge at the moment. But do you mind me asking then, in the 12 months, past 12 months in particular, how do you think things have changed, and whether that's for the good or for the bad?
Things have changed for the bad, actually.
Okay.
Because I remember when we came in, right? We had issues with the employers who brought us in. So most
Okay.
of these employers, they were just doing it for the money, not because they wanted staffs, not because they care about the health and social care, right?
Hmm.
They were just taking money from us, bringing us into the country, and they didn't have hours to give us. They didn't have work to give
Right.
us. Most
Okay.
of the time we would be stuck. That's why if you notice, I said I've worked in different areas, not because of it was a choice that I just want to hop about. No, it was because when I came in, I didn't have the hours to work. And the first thing I did, because I didn't want to get into trouble, right? My cousin helped me because he is a citizen here now. He helped me get an immigration lawyer. And then I
Okay.
explained my situation to her, and then she advised that if you don't work, you're breaching the contract between you and the Home Office. So this now was me trying as hard as I could to understand what was going on, because I
Hmm.
didn't have anybody to talk to or to advise me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she helped me, was like, this is what you're supposed to do. Try to get another job that you would switch employers. And the whole narrative of our current employers that time was, if you would not be able to work for anybody else other than me. If not, they would
Right.
deport you. So this was how I was feeling. It was like us, the employees, against the employers, right? And now in the past 12 months, Rayan, it's like it is now us versus the employers versus the politicians versus the citizens versus
Mm.
everyone. It's like everybody now is against us, because
Yeah.
back then we were so confident to tell the employers that, oh, we would report you to CQC, oh, we would report you everywhere we can, like any chance we get we would report you, because we know that they would back us to
Hmm.
say it is not your fault, it is the employer's fault. We
Yeah.
would fight. But now it's like we're silent, because now everybody's against us. Who can we talk to? Who can we reach out to? will they even fight for us? Now you leave your current employer, it would take you months to find another employer to sponsor you, because there are so many restrictions now with the threshold.
Yeah.
There are no longer jobs that could sponsor people, because the employers have to look out for themselves, that I cannot be investing this thousands of pounds in this one person, because now if they have to sponsor me, they need to raise the salary threshold to all the other employees, and they don't want to go at a loss, so they rather not employ me and just stick with what they have now. And so it's just like now we're fighting everyone, and you go out there, you see the flags. Like, I tell people that I really don't have issues with you guys wanting to change the laws. Like, it is your country, you have the right to celebrate, you have the right to do, but it's, you're not celebrating because you want to like celebrate how great your country. You're doing it to oppress us. You're
Yeah.
putting the flags out there, like where I am right now, the area. I went up. Just imagine I work as a living carer, and I left the house to go collect my client's medication. My client is pure white, just like a British woman like you. All her family, they're all white, no mix, nothing. And I went up to the pharmacy. Her medication was taking long to come, and I had to make so many calls to get her medication because she can't go a day without it. This is me overworking myself just to let her get what she's supposed
What
to
she
get.
needs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling NHS 111, I'm calling her surgery, I'm calling the pharmacist. I'm doing all of these things just to protect this person I'm looking after. And then now I walked up, going up to the pharmacy. I just saw so many flags, all from all the lampposts going up.
Okay, okay.
And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I like? I felt so bad that day. I called my mom crying that I am here looking after these people. I am doing my best to be the, like, giving them like value, contributing towards them, and they're showing me I am not appreciated. Because me seeing that flag, that's what it means, that I am not appreciated. Like, get out of my country. Like, it's like every single flag has a different thing they're telling me. Go to your country. We don't need you here. You're not wanted here. Yeah, it's like you guys are not putting it up to celebrate your country. No, you're putting it up to show us that this is our land. We're claiming our land. And the narrative is so different. Like, when white people go to Sierra Leone, because let me don't talk about other countries, we get so happy. It's like a celebration. If you're in that area, any area you go to, you see kids running up to you, wanting to touch you. People would do, oh, come and take this. Like, they wouldn't even allow you to buy jelly. They would give it to you just for you to have the taste. Like, they would welcome you and, like, just treat you like, even though you're not the same as us, but come and you just see, come, we love
Be
you,
with
like,
us. Be
we,
with us. Is that,
yes, we're
yeah, I'm
all the
feeling that.
same.
Yeah.
And then we're coming here and we're just being treated like, oh, like stray animals, like, go back, we don't want you. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And the past 12 months has been crazy, mentally and physically, because every day you get up to work and it's like, what am I doing? At the end of the day, I am not being appreciated. And yes, the money is important, but then all this money that we make, we put it back into your economy, right? I have to buy
Absolutely.
food. I don't go buy food in Sierra Leone. I buy at Co-op. I buy at Tesco. It's like, this is where my money, my salary goes back in.
The delivery costs would be, well, they might be marginal, they might be comparative with the delivery
Yeah,
costs these days here, but no, exactly, you're pumping money back in.
back in. Like, yes,
Absolutely. You're
you're
not
paying
just,
me,
there's
but
no taking. You are
yes,
push,
I am
yeah.
paying taxes, I am paying insurance. And guess what, Ryan? If I could show you my passport, if I could show you my visa, you know what is written there with bold capital letters? No public fund, not entitled to public fund. So we don't have anything in return.
Oh,
For the past 5 years, you would work, like they would tell you, come and work. And this is something that we accepted. We don't have
mm,
issues with it. So this is why I'm saying, be honest with us. Tell
mm,
us what exactly you want from us, and let us make the conscious decision that yes, we're coming into this, like,
yeah,
we're ready. Because they told us, when you guys come in, you will not be entitled to public fund for 5 years. Even if you have kids, they're not entitled to free meal in school. You would have to provide for them. You're not entitled to free this, you're not entitled, because you're not entitled to public fund. And we said,
That's
okay,
despite you working, isn't it? So even if
yes.
you're working, that doesn't matter,
No, it doesn't matter. So, and I'm
which is
like, okay,
crazy.
well, this is what we signed up for, so we don't have issues with it. But
Yeah.
now we're now in the system, and now you guys want to change things. You guys
Mm.
want to like pretend that this is not what you promised us. This is not what you made us sign to come. It's just like you're having a contract with someone, right? If me and you we have like a contract to say you do the job and I pay you, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you've done the job and now it's time for me to pay you. I don't. Rian, what would you do? Wouldn't you want to
Yeah.
sue me? Wouldn't you
Yeah.
want to fight that you've like? And this is how we feel.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
we are holding down the end of our own bargain, and then with you guys, it's like you're either there, not there. You don't want to be honest and tell your citizens the truth that
Mm.
these legal migrants, these workers, skilled workers, are not here to take the job. We called for them. We
Well,
created
this is the
the
thing, isn't it? I
opportunity
have
for them.
this. What doesn't sit with me and morally I think is completely wrong. I feel a sense of almost we've used you. You
Yes,
served a purpose
that's how
and
we feel.
now surplus to requirements. But
Yes.
actually, without overseas staff and workforces, this country would collapse.
Back in 2022, when I just started the work, right? I was working in Essex and mainly Colchester and Braintree, Cressing. And at that time, I was doing domiciliary carer. I went to a call where the initial carer was running late. She had like issue with the car, and then
Mhm.
I had to step in. So I was like a little bit late when I got there. And I met this set of family, a woman and two of her daughters, and the grandma was the one that needed care. And they were in the house, busy eating, watching TV, and they left the grandma. Nobody could feed her because they were like, oh, it's the job of the carer. She was in the room. Nobody tried to like wash her or maybe just change her pad. They were like, no,
Um,
if you guys don't come, that's your own. We're gonna report
mm,
you guys. Like we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna work. Because when I got into the house, the woman was proper shouting at me, and I was like, "This is not my call. Like the carer that was supposed to come had issues with her car, and I'm just here.
mm.
So like, stop shouting at me. You're making me anxious." And when I was doing the work, the daughter came in, and she was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, how much do you guys get paid? And I was like, 10. At that time, it was like £10 an hour. And I was like, oh, is it like 10? Are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I would never do that. I would never work for £10 an hour. Like, oh my God, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, no, I am not doing that. And this is a young
Oh
girl
my
just like
God.
me,
Yeah.
abled, and she's white. And
And not
this
working.
no. And she said she would never work for a £10 an hour as a carer.
Nonsense.
She
Utter
said it's too
nonsense. It
much
just makes
work.
me cross. It just
She said it's too much work for £10. And I'm like, but we choose to do this, and but yet so you blame us that we're taking the jobs.
exactly when they're not prepared to do
That
them
is one
themselves.
story like I remember so clearly.
Wow.
Up till now, I know the address of that house.
You
Oh, because
things stick with you, don't
yeah,
they?
because
Yeah, no, they
it's
do, they
something
do.
I remember so clearly.
With health and social care in particular, and you've just touched on that, the job we do, I've been a carer, and it is
Hmm.
hard work. It's physically
Yeah,
demanding, it's emotionally demanding, but it's a job that I'm really proud I did,
yeah,
and it's a job that, and then being a nurse, it's a title that I wear with honour. And what I want, and one of my goals, I suppose, is I would like you, and because you're coming through, especially with the nursing side of it, you know, I want you to be proud to be a nurse in the UK and be, feel included and part of that community. And when you're saying about walking to the shop, the pharmacy with that lady, and all of these scenarios are going through my head that probably I wouldn't even think about. I don't get me wrong, I've noticed the flag
yeah,
situation. And to be honest, I just get cross. I just look at them and think, you don't even know what that means. The people putting that out, you've got no idea what that means. And you're just
yeah,
doing it because you're standing with racism. You're not standing with what it
yeah,
actually, as
yeah,
you say that. And then I'm thinking about what you said about, people from Sierra Leone. And if I was to take my children there, actually, I hadn't really thought about that, but I really
yeah,
want to. Like, having this conversation with you and
yeah.
I
Yeah,
genuinely would.
yeah. My manager also asked me about it. Like, and I sent her a video. I will send it to you. I sent her like a snippet of a video of they're just making like a summary of the country, showing you our wonderful beaches because we're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean,
Okay.
partly surrounded, yeah, by the Atlantic Ocean. So we have beautiful beaches and mountains. And also the family that I work with, like I said, they're white and they're very lovely people. I love them so dearly because they really do care about me genuinely despite the work that I do, because I would remind them, oh, you guys pay me a lot. And they were like, we don't care. We love you, KK. So they
Oh,
will always make sure to remind me. Even the time they were rioting, I think was it earlier this year, when they would every day they would call me to check up on me to see how I'm doing,
oh,
if I need any shopping, if I don't feel safe going outside. They're very lovely people
oh,
and
Kiki, that's
I love them.
lovely.
Yeah, I really, really do love them. And yeah, so they told me, they were like, KK, when are you taking us to Sierra Leone? They told me, they were like,
Ah,
just tell us, we want to go, all of us will come in. And not even just my clients' kids, even their wives and their kids and step kids, they're all like, KK, if you're coming to Sierra Leone, we're gonna go with you. We want to see Sierra Leone, we want to see where you
honestly,
from. Yeah, and they
yeah.
always try my local food that I always cook because their mom will
Wow.
tell them, "Oh, KK made something and I loved it," and they would ask me, "Oh, mom said you
Oh.
cooked for her," and yeah, so yeah, I feel like you guys should just go to these countries and see how we would love bomb you guys, so you understand how we feel when we don't
And the
receive the
contrast,
same
exactly,
energy.
what you
Yeah,
don't get here. And I think
yeah,
to see that and that sense of community, and there's a greed in the UK, you know, and I'm saying that, and there's a greed, you know, in Western civilization, I think now, isn't there? There's this
yeah,
need for greed. It's that, you
yeah,
know, I want to have the most power, I want to have the more
yeah,
money, you know,
yeah.
I don't want to do very much for that money to earn it, you know. And I mean, I just you're making my brain, as I say, fire on all cylinders, and I got so much to talk about. I feel that
Yeah.
this one conversation, there may be another one if you wouldn't
One.
mind doing
Yeah,
another
no,
one, because I
that's
feel we haven't
absolutely
really gone
fine.
into it's almost just been an insight into your experience coming
Correct.
in to the UK,
Yeah.
and that to me has been such an eye opener because you know I've got I listen, and I do listen contrary to what
Mhm.
people think, because I'm a chatterbox, but I absorb a
Yeah.
lot, and I'm learning, and I've heard things. I mean, I've run a nursing agency, you know, and
Yeah.
a social care agency. And with that, we have a lot of the population, I would probably say
Yeah.
60, 70% of our workforce are from various parts of the world.
Uh,
But also, they are the most, and I will stand for them all, because they are just the most brilliant agency workforce I could have ever cherry picked, you know, and the people coming through from, again, different parts of the world, different social care and healthcare systems, but their willingness to care for those that, and
yeah.
you know, we had feedback from a nursing home only on Friday. I picked up the phone, and one of our nursing homes, actually, she phoned me and she said, can I just say, this gentleman, exceptional. And she said staff have
Oh,
actually come, and I believe he's from Nigeria, and they said, and that's his motherland, as you would say.
yeah.
But honestly, and we gave him that feedback today, actually, me and my colleague Lauren just had it,
Oh,
and she said he was so grateful for that feedback, because actually I don't think I realised just how much that's going to mean now,
it
because of what you're
is.
being exposed to in the media and in day-to-day life.
When people hear this, if it's anything you want to know, sometimes it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth, like you could say. It's better to reach out. So I really don't have
Exactly.
any problems, even if it's people will listen to this and they have more questions, they have more things they want to know. I'm all open to just, just being an advocate. And whenever you call upon me, I'll definitely show
Oh,
up.
KK, honestly, and
That's
that to me, I think it's having that communication, that almost, it's you and I, and the, you know, kind of professional relationship we're forming, you
yeah,
know, and there's it's a learning journey,
yes.
and I am still very much, I've got so much to learn. I feel that if anyone says that they're done learning, to
Yeah.
me, that's time on earth for me. I'm up. Like, there's nothing else I can do, you know, because
Yeah.
how can you know everything? We can't. You know, but
Yeah.
it's learning, and also just to understand how other people are being, you know,
Yes.
living here, and how they're feeling right now. I think that's really important. Such a prevalent topic as well.
This is one thing I've noticed that people are so scared of that when we get to our 5 years, we want to go into having benefits. I could assure you, and I could speak for 80-90% of us, right? We come from a country where we don't have credits. We come from a country where we don't have free schooling. As much as they would want to portray that, oh, we have free schools. No, we
Yeah.
don't. We don't have free meals. I've never gotten any free meal from my school. I went to schools where you have to pay fees, you have to provide every single thing, uniform, books, and nothing is free. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a society where I grew up in. This is where I came from. I know nothing is being handed out onto us for free. We have to work for everything. We don't have houses, we take mortgages. No, we buy our lands, we build from foundation to roof. We come here with an open mind to say we're here to work and we're here to get what we deserve. We're not here to take from people. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, I will speak for 80-90% of us. We are aware of what people are afraid of, and we just want to make people be rest assured that no, we're not like that.
No, that's
We
not what
come
you're
from
saying.
hardworking countries. Yeah, this is what people have to understand. You destroying our livelihood here, you're not just affecting one person, you're affecting a whole generation. For me personally, I take care of my little brothers because my younger brother, the age difference between me and him is 13 years. So like I am like the eldest, yeah. And my mom is a single mom. She has been for the past couple of years, and she's really struggled. So now it's a shift where I am the breadwinner in my family. These people look up to me. I came here with nothing, and I am really trying my best. That's why when I came in, things were not easy. I had to fight not to be illegal in this country, not to just come and take from this country, but I would do everything to work. Like I said, I'm a living carer. Sometimes I work 8 weeks just being in a house with my patients, like my clients. Sorry, I really want to do my best to look after my younger ones. So you taking a job from me, you just making me mentally unstable because this is how I feel. Mostly when I see all these hurtful things being said,
Yeah.
it's you're not just doing it to me, you're doing it to the rest of my family who depend on me.
Yeah.
So,
Which I
yeah.
think is such a key thing, to a message to get across, because again, I think of little brothers, I think my little boys,
Yeah.
it's that I can't imagine, KK, the pressure
Yeah.
you're under either. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think what I would say is I can't thank you enough for this, because not only, are you partaking in the podcast series, but it's more than that to me. This is
Yeah.
a learning for me and how I educate the future generation coming through,
Yes.
because I refuse to have my sons in particular grow up thinking that Donald Trump is an idol, or I'm not even going to mention any other names,
Oh,
but
no.
that I'm not having that, and I will not have it. And they need to understand about inclusivity and diverse, communities, and the benefit of that and the learning from that. So thank you so much. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to our next chat as well. Thank you so much to KK for sharing her story and for the work that she and her colleagues continue to do every single day. It really is not going unseen, although I'm sure, as we've already discussed, it probably feels that way. Conversations like this should remind us all just how essential it is to value the people that are affected by policy changes. Those who are strengthening our workforce, our services and our communities, and actually without them, this country's health and social care system would absolutely collapse. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Hoopcast, don't forget to follow, share, like, and everything else in between, and join our conversation on our social media channels. We'll be continuing to explore the issues that matter most to professionals across Wales, the UK, and further afield. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.